tell us how your open date went, how your open week went, and then tell us what you expect to see as you begin conference play for the first time Saturday against East Carolina, please.
Hi, Chuck. Well, thanks for having me again. Well, we felt like, we had a really good practice this past week. We concentrated on ourselves, getting better at individual stuff and fundamentals, obviously, as we also prepare for ECU. And so you always try your best in an off week to try to heal up a little bit, but also get ready for your next opponent, being that you got a couple of days extra to get ready for your next opponent. So hopefully that went well. We're really excited. There's for our first ever conference game. We have great respect for ECU. Know Coach Ruffin very well. They got a veteran staff. Coach Smith, their DC, has been around for a long time, and they know what they're doing on offense. They've been doing that system for a while. So we know it's going to be a tough game. They played very well, ECU, going into the Swamp. Had them, close game. They're ahead late in the game. That's a tough place to play, and I thought they played really, really well. So this is going to be a tough challenge for us, but, it's an exciting time knowing that it's our first conference game and going against a very good football program like East Carolina.
We'll take questions for Coach Niumatalolo. Hit *1 on your telephone, please, to join the queue, then the operator will introduce you.
And we'll take our first question from Ronnie Woodward of Greenville Daily Reflector.
Hey, Coach. East Carolina used two quarterbacks, both Blake Kemp and James Summers, against Florida. Did you obviously take that into account? Are you planning on preparing for both guys for this week?
Yeah, we'll definitely prepare for both. Obviously with Blake taking the majority of the reps and playing most of the game, we'll prepare for both. But they're a team that does what they do, though. They're similar to us. They got a really good offensive package in that they know what they want to do and they just do it. They see what people give them and they take what people give them. And so we're expecting both, but obviously with Blake playing the majority of the game, we'll probably prepare for him a little bit more.
Okay, makes sense. You kind of led me to my next question. These offenses are so different. Y'all can be methodical with the option, and ECU can, wants a really high pace on offense. With that said, in a matchup like this, how important can time of possession and kind of which team establishes their pace, how important can that be?
Well, I think it's important, because you want to play to your style and who you are. And so for us, we recognize, who we are, and so we got to make sure that, we're able to stay on track. East Carolina, they also do a great job of possessing the ball. I think the thing with them, and they can go fast, but, they're possession throwing the ball, they don't throw the ball too deep, but they're really good at what they do. They can go deep on you. And so we just got to be really smart, and we got to be efficient. But what you said is exactly right. Whatever offense is able to establish their identity, it's probably going to have a good chance of winning the game.
One more quick one. You've had some success offensively in these past few matchups. You scored 76 and 2 points in 2010. You scored 56 against ECU the last outing. Is there anything particular that really worked for you all those days or, led to that kind of success?
Well, I don't know. They're different teams. Coach Smith now is DC, so, he's a guy that's been around the block, has seen everything, really good defensive mind. Obviously, Coach Ruff, even though he's a head coach, he's a defensive guy. So, they got good coaches on defense. We recognize that those games are in the past, so we're really not sure what, they're going to do this year, obviously with Coach Smith taking over in these last couple of years on defense. And so we just got to wait and see, but those other games aren't going to help us in this game.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll go next to Bill Wagner of the Baltimore Sun.
Coach, obviously it's your first conference game, but you're familiar with East Carolina. You've played them quite a bit during your tenure at Navy as head coach. Does that make it different than maybe a Memphis or a Houston or somebody that you have never really played before?
Yeah, I think the one thing that, like I said, they're different teams. We haven't played them in a couple years. but we know their style of play, so to speak. But the one thing we also do know that they're very good. They're very athletic. They're well coached. They know what they want to do, on both sides of the ball and the special teams. And so I think for us, we kind of know a little bit just personality-wise just how they are under Coach Ruff. But that's really it. We're not really sure what they're going to do defensively and offensively. They're very similar to what they've been in the past, but they're very, very athletic. They got big guys up front on both sides of the ball, and they got really good skill players. And so it's going to be a tough matchup for us, as it always is, playing these guys.
Do you think some of the fellows that sat out the opener will be back? I think we talked about Blaze Ryder will play. Quincy Adams, do you feel good that he's going to play? Did he practice this week?
Quincy actually did practice this past week, so he's back, and Blaze will be back too. The amount of plays we're not sure, but Blaze will be back this week too.
Thank you.
And do we have any other questions for Coach Niumatalolo, please?
No further questions.